Hey riders, Inside Cycling World, we're at it again. Today we got something new for you. This is a team time trial that was put together by Gem City ICC. We've done this once before. We only had 3 teams, and yours truly kind of butchered all the recording, capturing of the video. I was actually turning my capture card off when I meant to record. It's kind of craziness, but anyways, what we have here is the Shinzuka course. It's 18 kilometers long. Really, it's flat. There are a couple little bumps, because I know I felt them when I did this. So we've got 8 teams. And I got to apologize, I only captured 7 because I was so out of it on Friday. This is Friday, February the 23rd. So off we go to the races here. We got Gem City, their team here. We got SR71, TXNO, Danon, Kristen W, and Brevet 05. So what I've tried to do here is chop the course up, and I've presented the video in the order that the teams went out, trying to splice it together for you to give you a sense of how it all went down. So with 18 kilometers long, we got 7 teams that I've captured. The 8th team, I think they jumped on at 6 o'clock at night. I got a message that they were jumping on, and I just said, no way, not doing it. The night before, I had just over 2 hours sleep after a week in Vegas, and I had to do this ride today too. So we got home at 2:30 in the morning. Some of you heard this before. This is just a lot of whining, so don't worry about it. Got home at 2:30 in the morning. I was up at 4:45, so maybe I got 2 hours and 15 minutes. Luckily, this was recorded by Chad Ritchie, who you're going to see later on in this video. And you can tell because the units are in imperial here versus the metric that I use. So at first when I was putting this video together, it took me a little while to figure out, why aren't the numbers matching up? I don't get it. Anyways, all figured out. So this is done in a group ride format. So, and there's a leader. In this case, Danon is the leader. You can see in the top left-hand side, the left-hand side of the leaderboard, Danon has like the little yellow and black star on his name to indicate he's the leader. And so there will be some magnet effect when you get far enough back. But looking at these distances here, I'm going to say very little magnet effect right now. You really only start seeing the magnet. Well, I guess there would be some here right now. Magnet effect starts, from what I've seen, about 20 meters out from the leader. So 20 meters back, you're going to start getting a little bit of watt savings, which you would see on screen. And once you go out so far, probably works the same the other way too, 20 meters out, you will probably get a little negative effect against you. So what you need to do is get in front of your leader not too far so that you can give them a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather along the course. Then they can slip ahead of you, and you can get into their draft from behind as well and recover as well. So this team's doing pretty good here. It looks like they're spread across the entire... Yeah, they might be like about 100 meters apart, the whole group. So they're sticking pretty good together here. We got 3 riders at the front, and then it looks like we got 2 riders at the back. So we got TNXO, Danon, and SR71 at the front with Brevet and Kristen riding very close together behind them. Different strategies to this too. I saw different teams. There's so many different ways you can do this, because remember, this is going to be an average. I think we switch over here to the next video pretty quick. I've got them spliced together here. Hey, take a look at that. So this should be very close. Coming up next, we got Team Now Here Comes the Best. That probably should have said Now Here Comes the Best Team. This is Andrew Lloyd. Eat More Cake, regular GRC member. I see Phil SRCT here. Believe I've seen Phil in some of the Muckers races. Martin and Andy Moggy. I think I've seen that rider around before too. They're all decked out in the same gear here. And I think most people here are using the Cube Arium bike, because that's like the unlocked free time trial bike that every rider on Rouvy has to use. You don't have to use the slow bike. So I'm just kind of bouncing around here a little bit, trying to keep track of everyone. We will be jumping in and out of map mode. So at this point here, this team is the one that got captured going up the hill. Everyone's doing really good here. I can see Andy Moggy pushing around 3 watts per kilo there up that hill. We got Phil out front. Looks like Martin's off the front. Followed up with Eat More Cake and Andy pulling up the back here. I'm going to use his name interchangeably, Andrew, Andy, Lloydie. I might just stick with Lloydie because that's how I know him. It's Lloydie to me. Yeah, we're going with that. So they're powering up the hill here. And in this group, the leader, I believe, I don't actually see the symbol on the leaderboard right now for some reason. But we're going to try to figure that out quickly here. So yeah, these guys are getting kind of spread out here a little bit. Maybe Martin's pushing a little bit too hard up front because he's 95 meters ahead now of Andy. And Lloydie is about 20 meters back from there. So the riders at the back will be getting a pretty good pull. Okay, these three are sticking nice together here. We got Andy, Eat More Cake, and Lloydie all sticking together. They're probably getting some nice draft turns from each other. Jumping up to Phil here. And then up to Martin. So Martin's a little bit off the front. He might consider just backing off the power a little bit. Yeah, which he is right now. You can see it happening. I think I do remember this when I recorded this. So how I was recording these, I was kind of like coming and going in and out of the room. I had so much stuff to do when I got home. But like basically I would leave the room for 30 seconds, come back in. Hey, check this map mode out. So you can see here, this would be a really cool course to ride in real life along the lake here. Yeah, so Martin did let off there because now the whole pack has been kind of blown apart. And, so even though it's a group ride, like if you're dangling 20 meters back, you're really not getting that much of a pull. You got to bridge up that 20 meters. So if you're 20 meters behind the leader, you're basically doing all the work the leader is. You're getting no draft, you're getting no magnet effect. So you have to be able to power up those 20 to 30 meters roughly, get back on to get into the real draft where you can get a real power savings. Blasting down a little bit of a hill here. So I think when I did this to each team that I covered should get about 2.753 kilometers, something like that. Yeah, these guys are coming back together here now. I can see there was 4 of them on screen there. I just saw for just half a second there. Coming up to a split point here, or a Rouvy banner anyways. Okay, now we're moving on. Here is Team GRC Plus. Probably my favorite team out here today because they are the GRC guys. The plus means when we first did this, we had a couple extra riders in that we decided to call them the plus team. Tony Yeager being one of them. Keep a good eye on Tony Yeager here today. He has an incredible day out. Decked out in all the same gear. And again, everyone's riding the cubarium. I'm only pointing that out because when I did the time trial, you're going to see my team go last. I used the Specialized Shiv, which I believe is heavier than the Arium. I think there's like about a 1 kilo difference. One's way faster downhill. So I don't know if that affected me at all on the little rollers. Maybe to just a minor degree. Just something to think of. You'll see it in the bikes. These guys all look like they're riding the same bikes, same equipment. So we've got C. Ribbons here. This is Clive. Clive Ribbons, super strong rider. We got Murphy, another really strong rider. Gilles, the G in GRC. We got Tony Yeager, and we got Roger, the R in GRC. So now you know why it's called Team GRC. Okay, so Murphy and myself, we had a great team time trial a couple weeks before this in the GRC team. So basically, I was on this team instead of Clive. I just ditched out of this. This would have been at 10 o'clock in the morning my time when I got home from Vegas, and I thought, I can't do it that early in the morning. I was really worried I would totally blow up and ruin it for my team. Because remember, this is an average of all 5 riders. So you don't want one person too far back. It's really going to hurt the team. However, there's some neat ways to ride this. I was watching this. If you have one rider that's kind of falling off the back and maybe can't get back on, maybe they're just struggling that day, maybe they didn't have any sleep, it could be a multitude of reasons. It might almost make sense to send one rider off the front. As long as you know that the 3 that are left in the middle can work together well. And I think that's kind of what was going on here. Clive starts pushing hard and starts getting ahead because what that's going to do is going to average out the front and back times better. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So basically, you got one person that's way, way off the front, one person that's off the back. So you want to get that front rider at least 100 meters off the front if the back rider is 100 meters off the back. Blend the times together. These guys look really good in their yellow jerseys with green helmets. Again, I worked with Rouvy a couple weeks before this. Yeah, half near killed me. Really strong on the time trial. Very strong cyclist here because you can see Rouvy to me is probably more of a lightweight rider. Probably 65 kilograms, I'm just imagining. So, yeah, like he's pushing big watts per kilo for his body weight. He's averaging 4 watts per kilo here. And again, Tony Yeager, he's got a background in triathlons. He's done a lot of traveling lately, just getting back into peak form. Okay, jumping ahead. Next team, who do we got here? I think this is the Bullet Train. Yes, it's the Bullet Train. And I believe this is the team that ran in our first one. We got Chad Ritchie. First met Chad on the Muckers races. Super strong rider. We got Hardy from Germany. Alex. I believe Alex, I apologize. I believe he's Swiss, maybe Austrian, but now lives in Sweden. You can see GRC member. Got Rebel 72 here and Nobby Styles. Hopefully Nobby didn't do any too hard of rocket starts today. Yeah, this is a really well-matched team here. And I believe, did these 5 ride together last time? I'm not sure. Keep a good eye on Chad again, too, because he kind of does double duty today, as well as Tony, that you're going to see later on in the video here. In fact, there's probably enough time in between these rides, getting a good look at the route. I'm not saying it was easy, but it just gave them a little feel for the course. And maybe that they knew how to dose their effort better. Alex looking strong here. Everyone's riding 3 to 4 watts per kilo. And this is basically just like an all-out, 99% effort. You push a little bit too hard, you're going to blow. So we've got Chad just off the front. Hardy. Nobby Styles is the leader. You can see the symbol on his name right now on the leaderboard. Alex. This team sticks together very nicely here. I mean, there's only maybe 20 to 30 meters between all 5 of them. So looking very strong here. Doing a great job. I gotta think. I think it was this team that won the first ever team time trial. So we only had 3 teams for it. I believe, and I mean, when I say that, I mean overall time, because these races have handicaps put into them as well. And so each team will have a handicap based on the FTPs of all 5 riders. So obviously, if you've got a team with FTPs of 300 on a flat course, and you've got a team with an FTP of 190, 180 on a flat course, the bigger penalty needs to go against the big numbers riders to try to balance it out. It's kind of like a work in progress to get it just right, perfect for everyone. But it's a way of like balancing the field out. It's really good too with the handicapping that you could have a team of 5 new riders that aren't going to finish dead last if we handicap it correctly. So it's coming about. And to be honest, I don't fully understand the handicapping system. I know John has described it using the analyzer that Rama's produced, the Rouvy analyzer. Check that out if you've never seen it before. And uses a certain weight of rider. And then the handicap is built around that. Again, I've said it before, it's kind of a little bit of black box technology for me that John's implemented here. But it seems to work pretty decent. I like it. We're probably going to be jumping to the next team pretty quick. And I did mean to put all the split times in, as we were going. But to be honest, I have so much to do. Running out of time, and I wanted to get this up before this become people started forgetting about this. So I've already been slacking. This is all made on Friday. I started compressing it on Saturday. I think I finished the compression on Sunday, putting it together. Monday morning, splicing and dicing, cutting, throw a few graphics on, and away we go. And now I get to do the audio. Look at Alex here. Nice push at 5 watts per kilo, almost 6 watts per kilo there up this little bump. And that's what you got to do too. You got to push up these bumps, which is you're going to see in my ride. Sorry about the pointer right in the middle of the screen. I'm not very good at getting out of the saddle. In fact, I never get out of the saddle. I did a long ride, I don't know, 2 weeks back, like just over 100K. I think I stood up out of the saddle once, maybe twice. Otherwise, it's never. So, and I know a lot of the riders, they'll stand up for like 5, 6, 7 seconds just to get some power up. I kind of feel like I just need to sit and kind of like just work my way up to power. But I can see the negative effects it has. Here's Swift Kickers. Oh, and it's not supposed to have a double I in their name. Just ignore that. So this is a team of 4 that jumped in. Who do we got here? This is Gray Squirrel. Looks like Berthoff, Lance Legstrong, and Jan. So I do know Lance Legstrong. I've seen them, I believe, in a muckers race. Let's take a look at their bikes. Looks like everyone's on the cube, I believe. Yep, looks like that. These guys are doing well together. Like they're right stuck together here. Riding along the side of the lake. Yeah, all 4 are right here. This is great. All working really well. Great drafting here. At this point, I'm not sure who the leader is. So Jan's gone to the front. Looks like Jan Martina, Lance Legstrom, and then we got Berthoff and Gray Squirrel. So a lot of brand new names to me. Obviously, we all know a lot of people on Rouvy and stuff like that. So they're all they're just coming out of the woodwork is what they're doing. So cruising along, we're about halfway through the entire course. So actually, we're about 60% now through. So again, each team will get 2 or 3 minutes here. And I really wanted to add a bunch more background info in. But again, I just got to get this baby done. I want to get it out there for everyone so they can see. Let's promote this so the next one's even bigger. I mean, we had 8 full teams. Sorry. We had 8 teams. And I believe 2 teams that only had 4 riders. But, you know, that's 38 riders. That's pretty good for any race turnout. You know, the GRC Sunday events, we're getting some good numbers, like really good numbers, 50, 60, 70 riders turning out for our rides. But for a brand new event like this, to wrangle 38 to 40 riders to take part, that's really, really good. I can totally see this event growing, and the more they do it, the more I'll cover it. I'll try to get a process going here where I can add some more background, probably more individual spotlights on riders. And I am learning more about the riders every time. So here's Jan Martins, Lance Legstrong in the red jersey here. Red kit all together, actually. And again, doing a pretty good job sticking together here. You know, Gray Squirrel's maybe 50 meters off the back. So at this point here, Gray Squirrel will be getting a little bit of assist. It's not huge. Maybe it's 10%, maybe, at that far back. But, you know, you really want to stick close to your leader to give them a chance to rest. Because, again, this is all about pacing yourself properly. Okay, coming up next after this, we will have Team Squeaking In. And I know everyone on this team very, very well. So they'll be coming up right away. Some of these riders here I don't know. I think, yeah, coming up along this lake, I think is where I catch them. You know, assuming this is a lake. Maybe this is like an inlet of the sea. Hey, in the background there, that looked like Mount Fuji. Did you see that? Yeah, that was crazy there. Yeah, so just squeaking in here is how I called it. Yeah, here we have, who do we got here? We got Tuna Tornado, Nobby Styles, Chad Ritchie, what a familiar name, Jay Bombard, and Grandad Rick. Okay, so Jay is the rider that I would say I know the least here. I've seen the name around a lot. Maybe you remember Chad's name from earlier because this is his second ride of the day. Second ride of the day, folks. So I'm going to try to guess. These rides happened over, you know, probably almost 12 to 14 hours. The first ride, I think, was at 4:30 in the morning. The last ride was at 6 o'clock at night. But I bet you Chad here only had maybe 3-4 hours to kind of chill out, recover a little bit. So, yeah, these guys here, Chad again, I met from Muckers, Grandad Rick, GRC, Discord, Tuna Tornado is in the Discord. See these riders, Nobby Styles, you know, he lives in the Discord and rides with GRC all the time. So Jay Jay LaBombard is the only one I don't really know a lot of details about. These guys look fantastic in their Halloween skeleton suits. Maybe we should call this Team Skeletor. Yeah, this is Team Skeletor for today. Yeah, look how well they ride together. This is really good. And you got to remember, too, that, yeah, we've just cut to them. But at this point where we're cutting to them, they've already been going for 12 kilometers. Look how tight this team is. They're all here. All 5 of them are popping up on screen at any given second. From the front to the back, there's, 6, 7, 8 meters. They're all together. Everyone's taking turns. Everyone's drafting. Everyone's giving the leader a little bit of a rest. Bombard coming up front now, getting ahead of Tuno Tornado. Nobby Style is able to slide into the back, take a break. I mean, you'd think these guys had practiced this or something. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. And that's cool. Certain teams have practiced this. Why not, right? Get some more training in, figure out the course, know where you're starting to get tired. I've done that for some of our GRC Sunday races. Some in the past, I've done like a course recon, and then I haven't raced it, just so I can cover the race better. This one's different. I got to cover all these. I got to move around. I got to see what was going on. But hands down, this team... Okay, correction. I don't know about the last team, but I will guarantee you that this team stuck together the best. Out of the 7 I saw, they're so close together. I'm just going to say they were the best out of all 8. Because I'm the member of my team that didn't really hang in there very well. In fact, when we cut to me, we will be next. We are Team Last Minutes. We will be cutting in probably at my worst part of the ride when I'm actually falling back off the back. I took a couple of good pulls at the beginning, bridged across a couple times, but I was just cooked in my event. And we had, someone come out and do repeat duty, double duty, whatever you want to call it, and basically smashed us all apart. But yeah, so here they're moving apart a little bit, but this is pretty high speed through here. We're like 45 kilometers an hour through here, so pretty easy to drift, front or back. But they all come together really nice. So we should be jumping to the other team very quick here. I think there's like a bend in the road, and then I know one of the little mini trucks is my marker. By the way, did you know I own one of these little mini trucks that you see driving around here in Japan? They're great little vehicles. They generally always seem to be white. Every single car manufacturer over there makes one. They're basically like their little mini versions of pickup trucks. And they're really good for getting to small, tight spaces. They're right-hand drive. Okay, not a big deal. They're also four-wheel drive, which is really cool. So I used mine on my acreage, and I also used it to train dogs when I used to run my sled dogs way back when. Maybe... I don't think I only used it to train the dogs a couple times, but what I used it for was for setting trail. Yeah, I think this is the point where we jump across. Hey, called it again, folks. Called it again. Team Last Minute, and look who it is. It's me, virtually at the back. So what's going on here is we've got a couple of juggernauts up at the front. One named Sonne15. Maybe it's Son. I need to ask the rider his name. And Tony Yeager decided, yep, time to destroy everyone. So this is Tony's second ride of the day. Tony would have ridden in Team GRC Plus. Oh, I think they probably rode at 10:30 in the morning. So this is about 4 hours later. Tony is a triathlete, super endurance. And he's probably the kind of guy that's been an athlete his entire lifetime. So him and Sonne, put it to us. So at this point... we've got Tony. Anthony's at the front right now, too, looking really strong. Don't know why Anthony was nervous about this. He's very honest, but he's a great rider, fits right in with us. Easily worked with the 3 at the front. I know earlier on in this, so at this point for us here, too, we're now almost 16 kilometers into the ride. So, yeah, I'm fading now. I'm trying to keep around, 3 plus watts per kilo. And if you look at the top, now you can see the assist. So I am, I'm behind Tony probably 40, 50 meters or something. Well, maybe 70 meters. And you can see I'm getting about a 14% assist here. So you got Tony to Anthony. Yeah, I'm pretty far back right now. I'm probably like 80 meters back roughly. So I'm going to be getting an assist here. But I'm not slacking either. I'm trying here. I'm trying to stay over, you can see a lot. Check the numbers out. 3.2, it comes up and down. There's a time here I thought maybe I can get back towards Anthony. And hey, I also want to point out here too, we got John B. I'm assuming it's 1982 on his name. I didn't know this rider at all. So this team was thrown together. And I jumped into this team because it was later in the day, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get rested up. And actually, I was probably more tired here because of the night's sleep. The sleep I had the night before, I was just fading. I probably should have done the earlier ride. Probably would have had a bit more energy. But so I got thrown to this team here. I know 3 of the riders, which includes myself, really well. I've seen Sonny ride before and know they're very strong. So I told this team, get that rider. Like, lock him in. And then John here. Just met John last night through Facebook, through Messenger. Super nice guy. Hope he rides with us a lot more. And he easily pulled his weight here. He's just 12 meters behind me. So at this point here, John is like 1 second behind me. So when you look at the leaderboard and you think, oh man, these people are falling behind, or that person's falling behind. They're not. They're right there. So at this point here, I was actually managing to catch up to Anthony a little bit. It's a little bit downhill here. Yeah, so the distance that was before like 80, 90 meters is now down to 20 meters. But I know Anthony starts working really hard here as well. So I think what I was kind of doing wrong on this one is that everyone was probably, and maybe I'm wrong, I think a lot of riders were getting up and jumping up out of the saddle for the little bumps earlier on. And I was just kind of a grinder, so I would be able to hang near the front. Then as soon as we hit the hills, I found myself off the back, struggling to get back on. So maybe I need to try my style a bit more. So yeah, here I was lucky enough to kind of catch back onto Anthony where he's pushing like 5-6 watts per kilo there. And check this out, John comes past me here. John had a really nice strong finish here. So we got Sonny and Tony up the road. We're just less than 200 meters to go. So those riders are probably crossing the finish line like right away. I think you can just see them up the edge of the road here, just on the edge of the screen, just in the distance here. So yeah, they're done. Anthony's coming in. Here comes John and then myself. So after this, there was a final team. I don't have any results for that, or any video, I should say, but we do have all the results. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Definitely check out Gem City ICC's website. I'm going to put a link here for you. They got a full schedule. Awesome website. Check it out. We'll see you again real soon.